Okay, Piri, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm the drummer from Infinitas, and I started the band with Self, the guitarist, in 2009, the first idea, and in 2011 we have our first show, and in the meantime we have some lineup changes, and in 2015 we released the first EP from Infinitas, and so on. We changed a lot of the lineup and the sound and the ID from the band, and now it is what it is.
I did notice that from the early days it was more folk metal, wasn't it?
Perhaps, yeah. I think a lot of songs are more folky, yes.
Now you've got a distinct punch to the sound.
Yeah. And I think the older songs are a little bit more progressive, a little bit longer, a little bit harder to hear the first time. I think the new stuff is easier for new fans to hear and to check the sentence of the song.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been a big metal fan, but I do like your music because it's more, I don't know, it's somehow it's more melodic. Yet you've still got the growls, but it's more melodic, and it's not too extreme to the symphonic. It's somewhere sits quite nicely, and I like the image you guys have got. You've got this visual part to your band as well, which is, it's not like Kiss or anything like that with the extreme, but you've got this distinct like warrior fantasy look, and it really is quite impressive, the looks you've got now.
So cool to hear that, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, from someone who's not a big metal fan, it's refreshing to see a band kind of doing something a little bit their own way.
Cool, yeah. I think that's very important and cool for us if you are not a hardcore metal fan and you also like our stuff. That is very cool to hear, because we think also the music is very melody, but also with growling stuff and hard parts, but not the whole time. We think it's a good mass of hard and melody and change a little bit. And
yeah, there's a blend which is really nice. You've I don't know, you've done a really good job of that. I mean, I don't know if that, I mean, obviously it was helped by the introduction of Mary as well, because she's got great vocals, and I think you do the backing vocals, don't you?
Yes, I do so. But in Kratos, I think 90% is all from Mary.
Yeah.
I only do on the bridge part, the drunk part. I do a little bit of my growls in, because we want that this means a horde of monsters, a horde of evil warriors. So we topped a little bit of my vocals on that.
But that works well as well. That works very well, yeah. I mean, it always amazes me how a female singer can go from this, like, I suppose you could say, an angel voice to the growl, and it's like, wow. I mean, I can understand a man being able to growl, but when it comes from a woman, it seems so, wow, where's that come from?
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. And also in our rehearsal room, when Mary and Self try some vocal parts, and I sit in the near and watching this out and see the nice, beautiful woman and such evil sound.
Yeah, that is the impression you get. It's like, how can she be making these growls?
yeah, but it's a technique with the voice
chords.
I don't know.
Vocal chords.
Yes, and I think it's not male or female. It's not the problem, because it's also a technique, like you play drums. You have to train this and study this, and but it's impressive, of course. Yeah,
it is, and it kind of, I think the first time you hear it or see it, it kind of takes you by surprise, because you think, what?
yeah. I think everyone have this moment. I think so.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, that's the element of surprise, and then it works so well with you guys, because, like I said, your music isn't too one way or the other. It's a lovely blend in between, and that really does come across, which is really good. I mean, was that difficult finding the right singer or the right vocalist?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a long time. We have 11 interestings, and we choose very hard. I think every singer should make a video of one of our old songs and perform this, and then we invited them to come to our rehearsal room, and we want to check the personality, the relationship. It's so important for us that we are a family and we have fun together. And so it was a long, hard time for us, and also for Mary also. And after that, we know it's perfect. It's exactly what we need. And for Mary also, she also searched exactly such a band with melodies. She loved violin and also the fantasy stuff. And of course, what you say before, the look, the image, we try to make us a little bit warrior style, a little bit fighting, but always we like to be beauty, not also with some gray or so. We try to make it with high quality. I try to say
kind of glamorous as well as fantasy, kind of, not just scary, kind of a little bit more than that. But I can imagine that's very, very difficult, getting a vocalist to replace somebody when there's a certain style and you've got to have chemistry with them and they've got to have chemistry with you. You've got to be on the same page with everything. Otherwise, you see so many bands that change vocalists so often, and it's like, why don't you stick with a vocalist? But that is because it is so difficult to find that perfect person for that.
Yes.
Especially when you're a band like yourself that have already been going, 12, 13 years?
Yeah.
14 years nearly. Yeah, 14 years now, isn't it?
Yeah, but we have changed the singer in the time also. Mary is the third.
The third
singer.
one.
Yeah.
So that's difficult, isn't it? Yeah,
it's very hard. And first in the rehearsal room with Mary, the first times we say her, do it a little bit more like the past singer or so. Self and I try to have a sound like in the past. And after that, we have much of rehearsals with Mary, and we notice noticed that that is even better when we say, Mary, do it like your way and do it from the heart. And so we also changed all songs a little bit, that she can do it from her soul and not make an imitate from the past singer. So it's so important that she can give all of her inside the song, and
that's a great way of working. That's Perry. That really is a great way of working, because that's allowing you to do what you do and Mary do what she does, and that just comes together. And that really shows with this first single. It really does shine through that you guys are literally, I mean, you wouldn't believe this is a new vocalist coming. You believe you've been playing together for years, because it fits together perfectly. It really does. It really is impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, this new song is absolutely fantastic. And I know you guys have been pushing it out there on social media, but it's just brilliant. I mean, any fan of your style of music and any new person like myself who doesn't really appreciate the metal side of things can listen to your new record and your new single and just say, actually, this is something different. This isn't the same of what we've heard from other bands. This is something a little bit better. This is good. This is
so cool. Thank you.
No, it's all right. It's really an impressive song. I mean, for a first single with a new singer, it's damn good. It really is. Well done.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Who does the writing, Piri?
The first part, the most part is come from guitarist. He's the main songwriter of us.
Wow.
And he has, I think, 80 to 90% of the song in his head.
Oh.
And he records the guitar and sometimes parts of the violin. And then he looked the song together with me, with the drums. And we changed perhaps a little thing. And after that come the vocals, sometimes from Mary, sometimes myself or me. We all do a little bit inside, but the whole idea come from actual. And the lyrics write Mary or I. Actually.
Wow, so it's a good collaboration between you.
Yeah, we have to find it's a little bit new now with Mary. She have also so cool ideas, and also Savannah with the violin, and we are updating this process all the time. It's good to talk every member to talk to the song, but it's also a hard way. Then every person also have a own meaning, and it's hard to find the perfect way. But we're working on that, and it's very interesting. Yes,
well, that's obviously the way to go, because obviously that's teamwork then, and you're working as a team or a family, and it bonds you bond that way, and it makes it, I think that comes across in the sound then as well, because you've all got your hearts in it, a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Which then comes across to the fans through your lyrics and your music, which is really, really something that you need to feel that when you're listening to music. You need to feel I don't know what you call it, the heart or the soul of the music that's there. And I think you've achieved that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you've definitely.
And we never have a part where one of our members say, I don't like this part. that then we put it away. We always try it, and perhaps when I don't like a part, Safe say to me, wait 3 days, listen to the song tomorrow, and after that I can feel the meaning of his idea, and so we always find a cool way to the final song. Yes.
Do you know, I get that when I'm sent something to review. Sometimes you hear something the first time and you think, what is this? You know, you think, what have I been sent here? And I think, but I don't want to be negative. I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a musician. So I don't want to say anything negative. So I leave it for a while, then go back to it. And if that still doesn't work, I go back to it again. And then you think, actually, you listen a little bit deeper and you think, actually, this is actually really good. You know, the more you listen, the more you start to pick those little bits that come out and you realize that there is something there. And you can always, I think, pick something positive from something. There's always a positive in there. And because sometimes, yes, I mean, sometimes I almost, what little hair I've got left, I want to pull out because I think, how am I going to find something good about this? But then I just leave it a while, re-listen. And it's like you said, leave it 3 days, listen again, and you may find something different in it. And you do sometimes, most of the time you do.
Yeah.
And it works like that. You have to let it rest sometimes and go through your head, I think.
Yeah, but, I think much of songs are working on this way. You don't love it by the first time, but if you hear it 5 or 6 times, you recognize the feeling. And
yeah, that's what
other songs you can love from the first time ago. It's different. Yeah.
That is true. Yes, some songs you get straight away, and some other songs that they do take time. And it's when your brain starts to think a little bit more, you then get it.
Yeah.
What inspires the lyrics and things? Is it all mythical and
about Kratos?
No, about all your songs in general. Is that all? What's inspiring those lyrics from you guys?
Yeah, we wrote all the time about demons. Every song is called like a demon or a mythology god or so. And we write about the character of the demon or his feelings and his I don't know what to say. So the concept of the idea is every song is a demon, but every song brings the fan a little bit to his life. So on a song like Kratos can be very hard, and on the first time you hear it, the lyrics are very evil and deep, hard, of course, but the meaning in this song is that revenge does not change your past. So don't do stuff if you are in a rage. That's not the
be a better
way.
Person.
Yeah.
Is that how you see it? Being the better person and not taking revenge as such, being better by just letting it go, kind of thing. Is that?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Accept this part of your life. Perhaps it was a bad part in a relationship or in job or a friend or something, whatever. Accept this and look in the future and think, yes, this is now a part from my past, but I don't can change this part. I don't can change it when I do some shitty things. So looking forward and accept the
because
thing,
I think because if you keep thinking of the past as such, it's going to spoil your future. You have to let the past be the past and move forward and concentrate on what's coming up, not what's gone. Because you can change change what's going to happen in the future, but you can't change what's happened in the past. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes good sense. So even that, I mean, your lyrics might be kind of fantasy, mythological, etc., but there's a good meaning behind them as well.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, well, but there is a lot of people out there will kind of perceive any kind of metal music as demonic and whatever they want to perceive, but they don't realize that bands like yourself, you've actually got a really good meaning behind it, which is be a good person, not a nasty or evil person.
Yeah. So I think this is our way, and there are some metalheads with the other opinion. So they think only hard guys are cool, and we think a little bit do it great and have love in you and spread the love.
Yeah. I mean, there's too much hate in the world as it is.
Yeah.
Too much horrible people. What else is there here? This new single that you've got, is this the start of preparing for an album?
Yes, of course. But first we released a lot of singles because we knew we need much of new stuff with Mary. We have to show the whole world like Infinitas sounds now.
Yeah.
And we will do an album, but first now this summer there comes another singles, and yeah,
that's good, because obviously people do need to get to know what you are now. Was that is that always, does that kind of bring a little bit of worry on sometimes when you've got to change, when you've had to change Vocalist? Does that make you think, are fans going to stay with us?
Can you ask again?
Yeah. When you had to bring in a new vocalist, obviously Mary, and your style changes to a certain extent, do you worry as a band that fans may say, we don't like this?
Okay. Not so much. A little bit, of course. But we are so fixed in our decision that Mary is now perfect for us. And also the meaning of Kratos, don't look at the past. We think now 2023, Mary is perfect for us, and every fan who loves that is perfect. And of course, there are some people that the change doesn't like, but we think in the whole life, if you do this way, you can do from the heart and can stand there and say, this is my decision and this is now do now this way. So we think the people recognize the authentication. And
authenticity, that was the word I was trying to think of. I think.
Thank you. And we think some sometimes anything have to change in the life, and some people come and some people go, like in their whole life. So
yeah.
Also like with fans, I think, yeah.
But I do think from a personal point of view, I think if you did lose any fans, I think you will gain more than you lose. I really do, because I think that the change, I mean, you're still the same band, but this change, this little change that you've made, I mean, I know it's a big change, but it's a little change as such. But I think it's an impressive change, which is going to be a force for the good for your band. I really do. I think you were lucky to get Mary, and Mary was lucky to find you guys. And I think together, I think you're going to go a lot further than you imagine, because I think you're just so good now. You really, I mean, you were good before, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to insult. But I think now you've got this sound that is far more, it's got more a wider appeal.
Yeah.
And I think that will send you a lot higher. I really do. I mean, it's a good testament to you guys. I mean, you've obviously worked hard to get a really good singer with you, and you've achieved that. She's also got a good band now with her. So yeah, I think it's gonna work out really well. I'm sure of that.
Cool, thank you.
I mean, I like I said, not a metal fan, but I'd love to see you guys live.
Someday in Malta, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a festival here, so
cool. Yeah.
It's every April. Okay. It's a 3-day festival, and it's from everything from gothic to metal. And the bits in between, like industrial and stuff like that. So we've had the real hardcore bands like Combi Christ.
Okay.
We've got Blut Engel coming this year. Project Pitchfork.
Okay.
Aesthetic Perfection have been. Clan of Zymox. So there's been a lot of bands coming here from all over the world.
Yeah.
It'd be a great place for you to showcase yourselves as well at some point. I mean, he gets fully booked. I mean, he's booked for next year already, I believe. But it would certainly be a place to try and get to, because people come from all over the world to be there. I mean, it's a smaller festival than, I don't know, one of the big German ones. But it still brings in the bigger bands. So
cool. Yeah, I will check it out.
Yeah.
What's the name of the festival?
Dark Malta.
Dark Malta. Cool.
And the guy is Hades, DJ Hades. All right, and that would be an amazing place for you to come. I mean, you'd fit in really well.
Cool. Yeah.
Really well. And that would obviously get you with some bands that are quite well known, and, you know, go for it, try it. You've got nothing to lose by trying.
Of course, yeah.
You know, and I think you'd really fit in well.
Okay. Cool.
They have a lot of what do they call it? Metalcore bands from local as well. They have some of those involved as well. But the majority are all bands from all over the world, and they really do come from everywhere. I think Empathy Test are coming this year as well, if you've heard of them. I think they're from Austria. They're English, but they live in Austria.
Okay.
Empathy Test. But yeah, there's certainly a lot of bands come, and it's all sorts, you know, Alien Vampires, which is loud.
Yeah. Sounds interesting, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, you would fit in because, like I said, it appeals to the quite a good spectrum of different people, and it's an intimate place. It's a lovely venue. Yeah, I think you'd love it.
Cool.
And most people I speak to all say, "You've got the festival there, haven't you?" Yes.
Dark Malta.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have a look and you'll see the bands that have been and things like that, and you'll realise it's quite an impressive festival for a little country.
Cool. I will check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's called Hades Events, DJ Hades, or Rene, that's his name. Yeah. He's a decent guy. But it'd be worth you having a look at that.
Cool. I have an idea to say to your questions before of the single and album. Sorry for the input. We also think it's better to release more singles in this time because of the Spotify generation.
Yes.
The people haven't the time to hear the whole album. They only have 5 minutes for a song, and so we think it's better to release more singles and give a small happen to the fans, and after that the big album.
You know, I spoke to somebody the other day, I can't remember who it was, and they said exactly the same thing as you've just said.
Okay.
About releasing more singles because of the way people haven't got the time to listen to an album.
Yeah.
So yeah, they said exactly the same thing as you, but I can't remember who it was I spoke to who said that. But yeah, exactly the same as you've just said.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so obviously that is the correct way then, definitely.
Yeah, so we invest much more time to one single than I think we done in 20 years before, because we make a cover, we make a marketing strategy for one single only, and we think every song has to become the same become the same attention, because every song have so much blood and time from us inside. So yeah, I think the time is a little bit older than in 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's harder work now than it was.
Perhaps, but the work is on other things, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the way it has to be, isn't it? I mean, like you said, Spotify, Apple Music, they all just literally make you listen in a different way.
Yes, of course.
Definitely.
With this also look that this is a chance for us, so we can reach people in Mexico or Brazil. They really love metal, and so it's very easy to give them our sound. So it's it have also very good parts.
Yes, because it has a massive reach, doesn't it? It can reach literally all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas before it was difficult, I suppose, without these Spotifys and things. It was difficult to get your music heard in another country, really.
Yeah.
But now
without the label.
Yeah. And it's just literally everywhere. I mean, I've heard bands from Mexico. I would have never heard them before. No way would I have heard bands from Mexico. But now I have, and some are really good as well. And some are excellent. They really are excellent. You know, and it's from all over the world. It really is.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, which is great. So what bands have inspired you as a drummer?
I am loving thrash metal and heavy metal, of course. So I love Creator and Slayer, so the big ones.
Yeah.
Also Iron Maiden and Amorphis, Helveti. So I actually goes to the drummer from Helveti around once every 2 months. So he can train me and give me tips. He is very good. He's a Swiss champion. He's a fucking awesome drummer, and I can learn so much from him. So yeah, it's cool.
Wow, that's brilliant. I mean, I can't believe it. You're still getting trained.
Oh, the train never ends.
Never ends. No, there's always a new technique or something, is it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I expect, being a drummer, you have to be extremely fit, don't you?
Yes, I want to be, but I should have to say the last 6 months I have so much to do, and the sport is a little bit lower priority. But I love to do it again more. And I love to do some sports out in the nature. Yeah. Actually, I go sometimes to squash with Mary. And
wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's different. That is really different. So the future is obviously a new album. And is there any tours or anything planned, or is that still...
Yes, we have a booker in Germany, the booker from Dark Tranquility and Lacuna Coil.
Oh, yes, yes.
Them. And he is talking to some promoters, and also a tour in autumn is in the plane. So, yeah, we hope we can play this year much shows, and hope there are many people who can enjoy our new stuff.
I think there will be. I don't think you'll have too much of a problem there, Piri. I really don't. I mean, the sound is great. You guys look great. I mean, you've got everything there, haven't you? You've got everything that should be in a band.
Thank you.
So I think that's going to be absolutely brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to mention, Piri?
Spread your love to all the people out there, and if you like our sound, give them a heart. Spotify and YouTube will rank the song even better if there are more comments or hearts. It's so important for bands like us without the label to have a good fan community with which integrates with us, with post our stuff to share. It's so important, and very thank you to all out there.
You say you haven't got a label yet?
No, we do it all
yourselves.
Way. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. A band like you, and you haven't got a label yet. That's just unbelievable.
We talked about it, and we don't know if a label is the best way for us, because we love to do all the technique stuff in the internet or with the platforms all ourselves, but it's a lot to do. It's perhaps too much to do, but now we love to train all the process and learn everything to see what is behind the scene.
Yeah.
And also we think with Spotify and all the platforms, it's possible as an independent band to grow up, and if the people like your stuff and if the people share your stuff, so we think it's possible to be as an independent band.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, yes, it's surprising you haven't got a label, because obviously you've got a sound equivalent to, if not better than a lot of bands out there. But I can also understand why you'd want to be as you are independent, because that gives you, well, you've got 100% control over what you guys do, which is essential. And it's not someone else then telling you can't do this, you should do this, you should do that, and then taking a percentage from you for you doing what you didn't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand why, at the moment, at least, you want to be as you are, because I think if that's working for you, go for it, use it. And I'm sure fans are always willing to share your videos and things like that to get things across.
Yeah. I think it's a good way to have a label for the relationship to so many promoters and to have connections. But I think when the fan base is so hard and there are so good fans, like we now feel, we are overwhelmed from the feedback about Kratos, and we think when the fan base is so cool and so active, we think it's also to do on this way.
Yeah, I don't blame you as well. I think if that's working, go for it. I mean, that's the best way. You know, keep your creativity to you. Don't let someone else interfere with it.
Thank you.
That's the horrible thing when I hear bands, well, we have to do this because a record label has told us we have to do it this way. And it's like, why did you sell yourself to them?
Yeah.
You know, it's a case of please keep it real, keep it you. You've worked for this. You've put your, as you would say, blood, sweat, and tears into all this.
Of course, yes.
Be you, do it, and you'll still make it. You know, you can still do it because you, like I said, you've got a great sound. There's no problem there.
Yeah, and it's of course it's very important for us to have partners on our side, which have the same fire for our stuff, like which love the shit and love to do all the stuff. And we think so much labels are have too much to do with much of bands, so you are just a number then.
Yes, they take the passion out of it.
Yeah, that's not what we want. We want to put in every single shit so much love in the video, in the mixing, in the songwriting, in the bookings, and the shows. Every part of our business should have love inside and fire.
Yeah, and I can see that from how you talk, that you are very passionate about the band and what you do. So to have somebody take that away from you, no. no, keep that passion, period. It's
we try.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing to have.
Thank you very much.
That's all right. That's why I do this. I just want to help bands put themselves out there, basically.
Yeah, it's so important that our people out there like you were doing in their free time interviews and support the scene, music scenes. It's so important. Without you, it doesn't run.
Well, Piri, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you and talking to you. And
me too.
I want to wish you all a great future and good luck with this new single. I'm sure it's going to be a real big hit amongst the fans and new fans. Let's hope for the new fans as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike, and I hope we can play for you on Dark Malta Festival.
Yeah, I would love that. But if not, I'll have to come to Europe and see you at some point, if whatever happens, because I think that is a show I want to see.
I love to see you in real life.
Yeah. I mean,
the hands.
Yeah, exactly. Piri, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, good luck with this new single. And if you ever want to do this again, just you've got my message. You can message me anytime you want, and we can do it again. No problem at all.
Perfect. Thank you,
No
Mike.
problem at all. I will
have a good time.
Yeah, you too.